Okay, welcome back. So we had our tartare. It was delicious. Really, really tasty. Almost nap time for Chefy. Now we're going to do our braised short ribs. You were with us when we put them in the water bath. Just before I got up to clear the table from the last course, I dumped the radishes and the puree in there as well. So now there's 3 bags floating around. So to start, I'm going to grab the puree. This is a dish that I'm going to use a lot of bowls for. Feel free to milk bag it the same way that we did with the other purees and soups. But I'm going to plate it and have some fun. So this is the celeriac puree or celery root. It's essentially, if you haven't heard of it, a root vegetable. Kind of like a cross between a potato or a turnip and celery. So I'm going to put that in there and let that hang out for a minute. I'm going to grab the radishes. The radishes, you can cook them the way I cook them, or you can throw them on a tray in the oven. You get some color, they'll be crispy, probably a nicer product. But for the sake of the old KISS, keep it simple, stupid, I wanted to give you guys sort of the easiest, fastest way to do things. So I'm also going to put these in a bowl, nice and hot. If you haven't had a roasted radish, prepare to have your minds blown. All right, next, we have the short rib, the demi-glace. Look at that great color. We are also going to put this in a bowl. The beauty of cooking such a beautiful meal is the age-old rule of I cook, you clean, which is fantastic. Though I think there's lots of options, right? There's a lot of opportunity for you and your partner to have a good time with this at Valentine's Day. You could rotate courses. One cooks one cooks the other. One could do it for the other. I just think, everybody is sort of blah. I'm pretty blah. Pasty and fat and kind of over stuff, and everybody is. But we're going to stay the course, and we'll get there, and we'll be eating in restaurants in no time. Until then, let's try and have a little fun and a little love in our lives. Plating, I'm going to start with the puree. Again, I think we'll do the 2 styles, right? The very high, classic French plating, and then the more chaotic Roger Murchie style plating. So that's the puree. I'm going to take a couple of radishes. Why don't we put them around this one, make it look really French. These guys, I'm just going to put a couple little piles. I read somewhere a long time ago that odd numbers are more appealing. I don't know if that's true, but I seem to think so. I think piles of 3 look better than piles of 4, and piles of 5 look better than piles of 6. But like I said earlier, you do you, man. It's all about what makes you happy and how you're going to enjoy yourself. Now we have the short rib. Grab a clean spoon. Do a little wipey wipe. Oh, that's tender. So this one we're going to put right in the middle. And this one, why don't we put off to the side a little bit. Now you have your jus here. If you can look at it, it's a little bit thin, because it's the braising liquid. What we're going to do is something called monter au beurre, or mounting it. We're going to put a little bit of butter into it. And we're going to stir it. And what it's going to do is it's going to thicken it up a little bit, but it's also going to give it a really nice sheen to it. Takes a little bit. At this point, you guys should be on your 4th or 5th glass of wine, so you might make a bit of a mess doing this. All right, so for the first one, I think I'm just gonna do the very simple spoon over. In cooking, we call this nappe. And this one, we'll just kind of spoon it around a little bit. Again, we're gonna wipe it. And the last is some kale chips. So for this guy, we'll see how tall we can get it. One of the chef's guiltiest pleasures and one of the funnest things is to see how high you can stack stuff and then watch servers try and carry it to the table before it falls over. I know it's mean, but what are you gonna do? We work hard. This guy, we're gonna, kind of stick with the radish piles, I think. Be very gentle with these guys. They're super brittle. You really don't want to force anything. Emma actually just got some. You can hear her crunching away in the background. All right, guys. So this is our celeriac puree, braised beef short rib, roasted radish, and kale chips. Now, before I let you go this time, we're just going to simply turn our oven on to 250, 300. We're going to take our tarts tatin and we're going to fire it in and let it hang out while we eat this. We'll be back for dessert shortly.